Thanks, Chandler. Well, what do Midlands Tech President Dr. Ronald L. Rames, former Miss America Kimberly Aiken-Cockerham, and even WIS alum and Today Show co-anchor Craig Melvin all have in common? Well, they're all Richland One graduates and members of the Richland One Hall of Fame. And here to tell us about how you can nominate community change makers for this year's induction class is Richland One School Board Chairwoman Cheryl Harris and Hall of Fame board member Bob Bachman. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Can you first tell us a little bit about the R1 Hall of Fame and how it was formed?
Well, it was started about 20 years ago under the leadership of Dr. Ronald Epps, who when he first came to Columbia realized we had a lot of talent and we had a lot of individuals that had graduated from Richland One and were doing some amazing things across the country. So here we are starting this Hall of Fame gala being hosted there at the Convention Center, and here we are now 20 years later, 96 inductees.
Wow.
And celebrating our 20th year next year to culminate such an amazing event that we are showcasing not only graduates of Richland One, but individuals that have contributed to the success of Richland County and Richland School District 1.
Absolutely. Mr. Bachman, can you talk a little bit about how long you've been involved with the board and some of the notable people that have been recognized through the Hall of Fame?
Well, sure. I've been involved in the selection process for the board since we had the first Hall of Fame in 2004. That committee serves as a group which evaluates the nominations that come in from the public, and then we make recommendations to the board for the final selection. So in that process, the board has honored, and Richland One has honored, an outstanding federal judge, for example, a Nobel Prize winner in chemistry. You mentioned a Miss America, president of Midlands Tech. We've had a number of, broadcast and international broadcast journalists, for example, and athletes who've been performed at the professional level, and just a variety of people in all walks of life and in all professions. And the idea is, of course, to recognize them and their achievements because of their relationship to Richland One, and for them to serve as role models for the students in our district, to say that you can be like these people. You can have the kind of dedication, you can have the kind of public service orientation that these people have had. And one of the things that Ms. Harris has promoted so often in our gala is part of it is what's called Legends in the Making, in which we identify, or the board identifies, an outstanding senior from each of the high schools in the district. They come to the gala, they see the honors that are given to the members of the Hall of Fame, but they are overachievers or high achievers themselves. That's and right. They show the promise for the future.
Absolutely. See it, believe it, you can achieve it, right?
That's
and I've been involved with a couple of those induction ceremonies, and that was one of my favorite parts of it every year. Ms. Harris, tell us how people can nominate people for the Hall of Fame this year.
Well, they can go on our website, which is www.richlandone.org, and click on the link for the Hall of Fame. That is where they can make their nominations, and everything is there for them. It's a very simple process, but it's a lengthy process because we're asking for a lot of information, but they can do it right there at their computers. Very easy.
And what are the requirements for it? Do you have to be an alum of the Richland One School District?
You don't necessarily have to be an alumni, however, the majority of our inductees are. You just need to make significant contributions to the district and to the community as a whole. And all of that is outlined in our rubric as to, the qualifications that we are looking at.
Absolutely. Such a great event. This Hall of Fame event, like I said, I've been several times, and it's so good just to see all the change makers and the future change makers that we have here in the Midlands. So be sure to nominate who you think should be part of this year's induction class. You can do so by heading to that website again, richlandone.org. The deadline to submit is on September 15th. And for more information, you can also call that number there on your screen. It's 803-231-7504. That's the Richland One Communication Office. Ms. Cheryl Harris and Mr. Bachman, thank you guys so much for stopping by. And we want to make sure that those submissions come rolling in because, again, we have so many game changers here in town.